welcome to Keiki Fish Adventures. I'm your host, James Patrick, and today we got a different adventure for you. We go torching at night. This is a great show. You gotta watch it. Mahalo. So here we are torching. We're trying to catch opaes, opae lolos, and other fish we can use for bait or to eat. Opae and opae lolo are sometimes referred to ghost shrimp. Opae lolos are also known as aloha prawns. The opae is different from the opae lolo because the opae lolo has a pink, orangish tail. It's called torching because in the olden days, the Hawaiians used to use torches instead of headlights. When my dad was growing up, they used to use gas lanterns. The headlights are so much more brighter now. We like using opaes because they're good bait. They're actually one of the best baits to use on shore. We torching in kind of sandy, rocky bottoms. You can catch opaes in all different kinds of areas, but the opaes over here are easier to catch. They're more out in the open. So these are things you're gonna need to go torching. You're gonna need a live bait bucket to catch any fish that you want to keep or any opaes. Then you're gonna need tubbies. There's two different kinds of tubbies. The one with the zippers that goes high and the one that just stays low. I personally prefer the one that goes high just because it protects more of my leg than the one that goes low. But this is your personal opinion. And then you're gonna need a net. You're gonna need a net to catch your opae, your fish, whatever you want to catch. And then you're gonna need a headlight. You usually want to get the headlights that have different kind of settings depending on like what situation you're in, but you're gonna need a headlight to see. Another good thing about the headlight is that you can make it so both your hands are free. So you can have two nets, you can have one stick and one net for the opaes. That's what the headlight really goes good for. Mahalo! The regular opaes will hide themselves under the rocks. The opae lolo will bury themselves under sand and mud during the daytime. Remember, when trying to catch opaes, it's better to go slow than fast when trying to scoop them. We tend to try to push them in the net with our hands, a stick, or a different net. If you scoop them really quick, you tend to kill them when you catch them, or you don't catch them at all. Most times you'll see them hiding in rocks, where they're almost impossible to catch. You can spot them by looking for their red eyes. If you catch enough of them, you can eat them. But if you don't catch enough, we tend to use them for bait. You don't have to go that far off to catch the opaes. If you're trying to catch opaes and they're just not coming out of the rocks, you can use coconut meat, and they really love that, so they'll come out. When you're going torching, you don't want to go out when it's a minus tide, because there's not enough water for the marine life. You're all going to have to go to the deeper water. One day you might not see anything, but another day you might see a lot. It varies on the moon, the tide. Sometimes you might see the Opae lolos just floating and acting crazy. Maybe that's why they call them Opae lolo. We're still trying to figure out when's the best time to go. We're looking for opaes that like to hide under all types of things, like coconuts, logs, rocks, carpet that they use for the canoes, other debris, coconut palms, and all kinds of stuff. Just look on the side to see if you see red eyes. Sometimes it's not good to have a super big net, but smaller nets, because they can reach into the cracks better. When flipping over a rock, make sure to flip it back so do not disturb all the animals that live by it and under it. Make sure to come over areas multiple times, because if you go over it once and you don't see anything, and if you go over it again, you might see something. You can catch all kind of fish with opaes. Opae is one of the best baits to use. You can catch papios, eels, wekes. Pretty much anything that likes shrimp will eat opaes. Remember to be listening for waves if you're in a wavy area. But most places where you catch opaes, there's no more that kind of waves. Here I'm using 2 nets. Just take your time when doing it. Some of the best places to catch opaes are by brackish water areas. One of the best places to get opaes in Honolulu is the Opae Canal. But the water there is kind of nasty. Here I see a weke I'm trying to catch. So just go slow. You don't want to swing at it because then it would run away. This is a good sized weke. You might eat it. Remember, you're never gonna know what you're gonna see at nighttime torching. In the olden days, they found a lot of Opae lolos around the fish pond. Remember to go with a partner or have a spare light. You never know if your light's gonna die. When you're torching, you find a lot of other types of crabs and shrimps too, like the candy cane shrimp and a bunch of different types of crabs. Here you can see we got a bunch in a bucket. There's about 5 to 7 Opaes for each of us to use. Remember, when grabbing the Opaes, they can poke you. They have horns by their head, so grab them on the side. Here I got poked by this Opae. I'm looking at my finger, it's pretty sore. When scooping along walls, go slowly. When torching at night, you're guaranteed almost gonna see eels. That's usually when they come out of holes to look for their food. You can see some anemones sleeping. They actually change colors when they sleep. Usually every time we go torching, we catch a white eel. Those make great bait, but not this night. Usually you put the net behind the Opae instead of in front because the Opae usually swims and walks backwards. So if you scare them, they usually go right in the net. Here we caught one taco. We don't know if it's a nighttime or daytime, but we caught it at nighttime, but it looks like a daytime taco. But the thing is, it is not big enough so we can keep, so we're gonna have to release it. But just look at it. We were just looking on top of the reef and we found a taco. Like, wow, what are the odds? This is what a normal night taco would look like. It's red with white. The night ones are very aggressive, so be careful handling them. So this one that we caught, we think it's a daytime one, but being out at nighttime. They're one of the coolest animals on the reef. They taste good, and everything in the water wants to eat them too. They have a very short life, only about a year, and are very fast growing. Here you can see it using its jets. Mahalo for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram for more clips and tips that didn't make the show. Mahalo!